I want to go to a railway station to catch a train. I first go and meet an auto rickshawala, bargain the fare with him using Indian parliamentary words, then travel on roads between pits with billions of vehicles on these roads, and then when I reach the railway station, with great difficulty with the huge crowd in front of me, I get a single ticket. And when I reach the platform, I realize that each and every passenger is a crouching tiger waiting to bounce into the train to get the best seat available. But wait, hold on. Now, just for a minute, think about the exact opposite as what I said. You might say, Sai, that's just not possible in India. But trust me, my friends, it is possible in India. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
In 2009, I happened to visit Japan. It was that point of time that I realized that we Indians need to learn three major lessons from the Japanese. The three major lessons are as follows. The first lesson is discipline and order. When I say discipline and order, it is not the military discipline or as what teachers say, fingers on your lip. But it is small things that can make life wonderful and enjoyable for everyone over here. In Japan, standing in queue is an unsaid rule. Be it while reserving a ticket in the railway station or even getting a popcorn from a vendor, people stand in queues. Now, I had a very funny experience. I was once standing at a viewpoint to view Mount Fuji. It was spring season, the weather was pleasant, and it was cherry blossom period, so I had the smell of cherries all around me. And I am standing at the vantage point and looking at Mount Fuji, which is a snow-capped mountain. What a lovely experience, just imagine it. It was a feast for my eyes, nose, and for my skin. Since I had a lot of memory in my camera, I was clicking photographs for about 10 to 15 minutes in this particular costume. Suddenly, I don't know what, I turned behind like this, and I saw 10 to 15 people standing right behind me in queue to take a photograph. And I was shocked. And just imagine the same thing in India. If I was doing the same thing, I would have heard very sweet words in my ears. But this gave me a very good impression. And if one is traveling on trains in Japan, it is rush hour between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it is a rule that people are not supposed to use the seats but to stand so that the trains can carry more passengers. There is no punishment for this rule. But I was surprised to see that everyone follows this and no one breaks this particular rule. Also, those seats that are reserved for aged, physically challenged, and pregnant passengers are never used by the other common people. So in this way, people can travel on trains in a very comfortable manner. The second lesson that I learned from the Japanese is help other people at all times. If a person is in Japan and he asks a Japanese a way to a particular destination, Japanese go out of the way and ensure that the person reaches the intended destination. Japanese do this even if they are traveling in the opposite direction or if they have a hectic schedule on that particular day. Once in a railway station, my friend and I were going down an escalator. My friend happened to slip and she bruised her knees. It was very painful and she was crying. A Japanese woman who was just behind us on the escalator noticed us. Once when we came down the escalator, she inquired whether my friend was fine, and then she directed us to the nearest place where I could get first aid for her. Just imagine the same thing in India. If a person skids from a motorbike and he falls, there are people only watching him and then there's no one even ready to take up the responsibility to give him first aid. The third lesson, which was very impressive, and I think that that can be done here in India as well, is Japanese, as far as possible, they use public modes of transport, be it buses, metros, trains, etc. Even CEOs of major companies like Sanyo, Panasonic, etc., they travel by the metro train on their day-to-day basis. This has given them a lot of advantages. The traffic congestion on the roads has come down and people have been able to move to their destinations quickly. Considering the fact that though in India population is a major problem, in Japan population density is a big problem. There are more number of people in a given land. So this has helped them to take care of this problem in a very big way. Furthermore, if you see, the petrol prices are much higher in Japan than in India. But people do not complain about it, and they have been able to tackle this particular problem by this third particular lesson, as I said. So friends, these are the three lessons that we Indians need to learn from the Japanese. And I emphasize on these three lessons because the problems that are faced by the common middle class people of India and Japan are more or less the same. I remember a famous quote from a movie which says, "The problem is not the problem, but the attitude to solve the problem is the problem." So my friends, if we want to see a change, we must first change so that we set an example to the others, and in this way our future generations will be better off than us. Thank you, and over to you.